Hello, beautiful people. It's a girl Genie and it's Genie's Signatures. Yeah, welcome to a new year of fulfillment, a new year of peace, and a new year of good things. So, without wasting further time, let's get right to the cutting of this beautiful piece. So, this was what my client wanted, and I was able to replicate this that my client wore. So, if this is what you're interested in, please kind of watch till the end. And please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and don't forget to share. Thank you all, and God bless you. So without wasting further time, let's get right into it. So I'll be cutting the upper part on my folded paper. So I already have my basic measurements right there. I have my shoulder to my bust points, shoulder to under bust, and shoulder to the waistline, and then the allowances. And then I've carved out the armhole for the front piece. So I'll basically just go ahead and do the needful. So I'm going to be dividing the bust measurement by 4. And then I'll be marking that. And then I'll add 2 inches for sewing allowance. I'll go over to the waist area. And then I'll be dividing the waist by 4, and then I'll add 2 inches sewing allowance as well. So I'm just basically going to be connecting that. So after connecting it, this is what we have. So I'm just basically going to cut this out like so before I'll do the necessary adjustments. So I'll cut like that and then cut out the armhole for the front. Okay, I cut out for the back because I'm going to be using this to cut out for the back piece. So now for the back piece, I'm just going to be maintaining the neck width. The neck width I made use was 3.5 inches, and then I slanted my shoulder and then added half an inch for joining on the shoulder. And then for the neck depth for the back, I'll just come down by 1 inch, or you can just use 1.5 inches. So I've gone ahead to cut this out for my back piece, so you can see the 2 back pieces. The only thing I did when cutting this was that I made sure that I added 1 inch for my zipper allowance, or you can make use of 1.5 inches. So that is that about the back. So now I'm going to be making necessary adjustments for the front piece. Now for the front piece, we really are not going to be doing much. So I will just try to determine the neck depth that I'll be making use of. So for the neck depth, I came down by 7 inches. But I would advise, if you don't want your bust area to be visible, I would advise you go for like 5 or 6 inches for your neck depth. Now from that armhole where I did my neck depth, I'll come in by 1.5 inches and then slant it to the neck width of the neckline like so. Just like in a slanted, I initially marked 1 inch, but I ended up increasing it to 1.5 inches. So you can just slant it like this. So you can see the way it came out to be. So that's going to be our sleeve, like our shoulder to the bust area. Now I'm going to be dividing this measurement into 3. So the first one I'll be cutting out from under the bust to the waistline like so. So this will be one piece, and then around the chest area that I came down with, by that side I'll cut it as well. So we're going to be having 3 pieces. Now I notched that place that I came in by 1.5 inches because of course that is where I'll be joining my sleeve, the hand to join the sleeve. You will understand as we proceed in this tutorial. So this is what we have right about now. Let me just cut out the armhole to give it a perfect shape. So this is what we have. By the time we finish joining all this together, this is how it's going to be looking. So now for the middle part, we'll be cutting that on fold. The lower part as well will be on fold because these pieces of paper are just like plain, they are not on fold. So when cutting on my fabric, I'll place some fold. So that's why I'm just going to be showing you in details on how I achieved everything. So there's no need to add anything at this lower part because I already added the sewing allowance while cutting on paper. So I'm just going to be cutting exactly like this. So at the upper part here, I'll just be adding half an inch because of course I'll be joining it with the other part. So I'll just cut this out. So I'll just place this here on one side and then fold the fabric again, and then for the middle part of this place where that gathers is going to be, like the Milkmaid is going to be at that chest area, you're just going to make sure that you double that up because you're going to be making use of either a rope or an elastic band, but I made use of an elastic band. So I'll just make sure that I fold my fabric very well. Just fold it into two, or just multiply what you have on paper by 2, just like this, and then place at the extreme end. So just want to get what I have on fold. Yeah, so I'm just double that, and I have more than enough to use. So that is what I was just trying to explain right there. So I'm just going to be placing this at the extreme end because I want this folded part to be unfolded. I don't want it cut into 2. So just place like this, and then use your pins to hold that down. Just use your pins to hold it down properly. So if you've watched up to this level, please hit on the subscribe button, hit on like, and kindly share. Now I'm out of base. I'm really not back to my base, so that is why I've not uploaded for some while. So please kindly forgive me for that. Don't worry. As soon as I get back to my base, I'm going to be dishing up beautiful tutorials as well. So thank you all for being a part of 2024. Please let's do it better in 2025. Thank you. So now I haven't pinned that on the fabric like this, so I'm going to be going up by that. From that line I'll be going up by, you can go up by 2 inches, you can go up by 3 inches, but I went up by 1.5 inches. So I'll be using half an inch for the lower part and then 1 inch for that upper part, because I'll be creating a casing for my elastic. So I just went up, I think I even went up by 2 inches. Yeah, okay, I reduced it to 1.5 inches. Yeah, you can see that there. So I just decided to go up by 1.5 inches. So I used half an inch to join the lower part, and then I used 1 inch to fold the casing for my elastic band. So I'm just going to be cutting this out straight down. So just cut it out like that. So I'll just be cutting it out like that. So just cut exactly what you have there, like so. So this is what you should be having. So you can see that this is double of what we have right there. So I'll be showing you subsequently the next moves to make. So I'll be setting this aside as well. Okay, yeah. And so for that net part, I already have a net. I'll just place this exactly, and then I'll cut this out because that place is going to be having a net to adorn that chest area. So just fold your net, make sure it's on fold, and then you cut out exactly what you have on your fabric as well. So this is what we have right here. So let me just quickly open this up so that you'll see how it looks. So this is what we have. So I'm just going to be showing you what will be done later on. Sorry if you're hearing any background noises. I'm in my village, so it's bound to happen. I'm not in the comfort of my home, though it's my home as well, but you know, not right in the real sense of it. I believe you understand. So I'm going to be notching that part that I cut while on fold. I left a space of 1.5 inches. That is what I'll be using to join my sleeve. Subsequently, as I'm going, you understand what I'm trying to explain. So I'm just basically going to be folding that half an inch, because I'm making use of an half an inch elastic band, but I'll be showing you later on as we progress. So now let me quickly just cut out the shoulder part. So I'll just place that on fold because I'll be having 2 pieces of that, and I'll be cutting out a lining for that as well. So I'm going to be using this part of the fabric like a leftover because I'm trying to manage the fabric that I have. So just place like this and then you cut out. So the only places I'll be adding sewing allowances will be at the sides and then the lower part of the sleeve. So for this part I don't really need any allowance. So if you feel that is not good, just make sure you use your pins to hold it down. But I just felt like I could manage, that's why I'm cutting it out like this. So add half an inch like this and then half an inch at the lower part as well. Just cut. So this is what we have. So now this is what we have. So we have the 2 pieces for each side of the sleeves. So now we set on this aside and then we'll go over to joining of everything together, like coupling of it. So now we have everything. I've gone now to cut out the sleeves. If you don't know how to cut out the basic sleeves, I have a detailed tutorial on how to do that. So this is the back piece. I've gone now to cut out the lining for that. And then this is the band that's going to be like a band. And then this is the middle part that is going to be having that net. And then of course that place that we're going to be joining to that to make it up as well. So these are everything that we have, and then we're going to be taking it one after the other and then joining all this together. So now the first thing you need to do is to consider that 1.5 inches that you came in with. Consider that before folding your fabric, because that's where you'll be attaching the ant to or the sleeve to. So now just basically take to the sewing machine, and then I'll be folding that half an inch inwards like so, making sure I leave that 1.5 inches, and then I'll run it all the way to the other side of the fabric. So let me quickly do that and then I'll be right back. So having done that, this is what I have. I've gone ahead to sew that all the way down, and this is what I have. So the next thing I'm basically going to be doing, you can see that I left my 1.5 inches on both sides. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to just join this together like this, because I want to get the midpoint of this. So I'll just place it like this and then notch, just give it a little bit of a notch so that you see the middle part. And then I'll be bringing my band, because I'm going to be attaching this to the band. So you can remember we'll cut this on fold. So I'll be getting the midpoint of the band as well, so that I can attach this to it. So now I'll just give it a notch as well, and then open it up like so. So now I'll be placing the notched parts against each other like this. Just make sure you just align it properly. Just use your pins to hold that down. You don't want it shifting. Like so. So the basic thing, or the next thing you're going to be doing now, is just to make sure you're going to be gathering this to fit into the band. I believe you understand. Just make sure you gather it on both sides to fit into the band. Yeah. So go and do that, and then I'll be back. So I've gone ahead to do that, and this is what we have. So you can see so far so good. We've gone ahead to do that, and this is how we did that essentially, so that everything will be properly aligned. We don't want gathers to be more on one side than on one side, so we want them evenly spread. That was why we did that. So I've already cut out the lining for the band as well, so I'll be using this to cover up the stitches on that part area. So I'll just place like this, making sure that it's the sewing allowances that I'm running the stitch on, and then you'll be seeing what I am explaining right about now. So let me quickly go and do that, and then I'll be right back. And then I'm going to be attaching this elastic. Now, in order to determine the elastic you'll be needing for this, I would advise, if you want to measure like this and then cut out the length that you have, you can do that, but I would advise against that. Why? Because even for my clients, after doing this, it was still saggy around that chest area. So I would advise that if you want to do this kind of a thing, make it tighter, because an elastic, and there's no way, because you won't want to bend down and you want your boobs popping out. So I would advise that you make it tighter. Like if your chest area is like unfold is like 8 inches, I would advise you remove 2 inches or 3 inches from that, and then cut out that elastic band length, and then attach it. Don't cut out exactly what you have on the chest line. Always make sure that you reduce the inches of the elastic band. So now I've gone ahead to use the lining to close that up, so you can see that our clothes is coming out neat and clean. So now I'll be attaching the elastic band. So let me quickly do this off camera because I don't want it to waste time, and then I'll be back to show you the end result. So having done that, this is what I have. So as at this point I did it like this, and I was like, okay, this is tight enough. But at the end of the day, after my client wore it, was still saggy, so I just had to reduce the elastic length by another 1 inch or 2 before it came out very nice. So this is what we have right about now. So the next step now is to just attach this, our sleeves, the ends, where the sleeves are going to be attached to. So this is how you're going to be placing it on each side, like so. Just place it like this, and then you bring out the lining that you've cut out. The first thing you're going to be doing now is to just turn the lining on this side first before attaching it to the top. So go and sew these sides on both sides of the sleeves first, and then flip it over, and then come back, show you to the next step. So I haven't done that. This is what I have, given it a very good press. So now the next thing to do is to just place it like this, and then flip the way we turn our lining to make it neat, and then run a stitch across it like so to fix our sleeves. I concentrated more on this upper part because of course I already have detailed tutorial on how to cut skirts. So for the lower part is in form of a long pencil skirt. So I just attached it to this upper part, and I made use of a velvet and the remaining fabric of the lace. So that is why I didn't show the cutting process of the lower part. So because of course this is a gown, it's not a top. So I've gone ahead to attach the sleeves, and this is what we are having already. You can see that it's coming out beautiful, and this is the inside. It's looking neat and clean. So now the next thing to do is to just get our back, and then I've already gone ahead to sew this with my lining. I made use of a cotton lining, and then this is what we have. So basically I'll just go ahead and join it on the shoulders, and then close it up on the sides as well. Just trying to ascertain the neck depth. Yeah. So this is the lower part, that's the velvet part. Just had to show you that so that you won't say So I'm just going to be joining these to the upper part, and then our tutorial for today is all well and good. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial, and the main emphasis was on the upper part anyways. So thank you all, and God bless you. Watch out for my next tutorial because it's going to be a banger. So this was how it looked on my client, and she loved it. Thank you all, and God bless you all. See you all on my next tutorial. And like I always say, this is Junior Signatures, and I'm signing off. Bye.